just 5 minutes ago. This is Claire. She is the outgoing treasurer and the current financial secretary. I'm the current treasurer for the Second District PTA, and my name is Gina. And we're going to together be presenting this treasurer's training to you guys. We're thinking that if you have a quick question pertaining to what we're talking about at the moment, go ahead and ask it. You can put it in the chat or you can raise your hand and we'll see if we can get that answered real quick. But if you have something, if you just think of something not related at the moment, hold on to that. We're going to have a question and answer session. And also, if you have very specific questions to your situation, let's wait until we have a Q&A for that too, if it's all right. And away we go, shall we? I'm going to act like I know what I'm doing. Okay, how's that? Is that working? I need to get rid of these things.
Looks good.
There's a way to get rid of this. Hide flip. See, 5 years and I figured that out. And this guy. There. Okay. All right. Guide to starting the year. It's not going. Here we go. All right, we've broken up this presentation into 2 parts. The first part is getting started. We'll look at the calendar, what financial reports look like, membership dues, how to record those. We'll look at deposits and payments, bank reconciliations, PTEZ, and PayPal transactions. That's the first part. The second part, I wonder what the second part is. The second part is more about the taxes and, oh, here it is. Prepare for the rest of the year. The financial review, the tax forms, our RF1, workers' compensation, next year's budget, different donation platforms, and we have lots of links for you guys to refer back to so you don't have to go digging through various websites to find them. Okay. So getting started, this is just sort of a snapshot of the whole year, what you'll be doing. All year long, you're going to keep track of your income and expenses in whatever system you're using. You're reconciling your bank accounts every month and preparing your financial reports for every board meeting and for every general meeting. And some units have meetings every month for the general meeting, but some don't. But every time you have a general meeting, you present your financials, and every time you have a board meeting, you present your financials. And then August and September at your first meeting, you're going to prepare and approve the prior year audit report. So that's going to be 24-25 school year, the one that just ended. You're going to present that audit report, and your association's going to approve it. And then you're going to present the prior year's financials as well as the current year's budget. At the end of your 24-25 school year, your association should have approved a budget, right? So you're thinking, okay, we already approved a budget, but you come back this school year, present it again, and it gets approved again. And then September 1st, and that's a soft date, but there's a raffle registration. If you plan to have a raffle during your school year, you need to register ahead of time, at least 60 days before your raffle. So September, we'll talk about that date more later for raffles. October 15th is the deadline to remit your new membership. What is that called, Claire? You remit your membership dues?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then you do it every month. And then November 15th is the magic tax day, and you have all these different taxes you need to file. And the pro tip is you can file these now. You don't have to wait till November. You can do, if you have time now, um, why not do it now? Get it out of the way. December 1st, paying your insurance premium. Now that's something you can't do now. You gotta wait. They have a window of time that you can pay that. And they'll let you know as we get closer. January 15th, workers' compensation form, January, February, mid-year. Oh, we should have changed that. It's not called audit anymore. It's the financial review. We'll look into that later on. And wow, it's the end of the year already. You're preparing next year's budget. That's going to be 26, 27. And then you're preparing your year-end financial review. That's, and that's all. Claire, do you want to just run through the banking basics?
Yeah, so there's a few basic rules around looking after the finances. On your bank account, you should have the treasurer and the president to be the signers for the checks. Every check must have two signatures, and those are the two roles which we recommend to be the check signers. Any expenses that you're paying out must have been pre-approved by the association in the budget that was voted on. I think there's a rule that if it's under a certain amount, you can spend it without getting board approval, but we can confirm that.
Yeah.
Um, any expenses which weren't considered in the budget, you would have to have approval by the association, your unit. That would have to be voted on at one of your PTA meetings. You need to reconcile all your bank accounts every month. So that means confirming that your bank statements and your financial software balance and the reconciliations, when they're complete, need to be signed by both the treasurer and another non-check signer. So this is all about checks and balances of not having two people who are involved in the same activity signing off on it. It's bringing in a different person to confirm that everything has been done according to the rules and no fishy business. The tools that you'll be using for this, you'll be using your accounting software, whether that's PTSA or QuickBooks or some other. Um, you'll have your online organization tools, so Dropbox or Google Drive or wherever you are going to store all your backup support and reports that you've presented and so on. Paper organization tools, and sometimes things get submitted on paper. You might have um, the report where you've added up about a bunch of cash that you collected at a bake sale or something like that. So you'll need to have that kept, although obviously it's also recommended to scan that in and keep it online. And keep a running list of the approved release of funds is a good tip. Okay.
Yep. Thanks, Claire.
Okay.
All right. Any questions so far there? It's pretty. That's going to be your bread and butter, right? That your everyday kind of stuff. Um, how about, does everybody know what financial software or application they're using? Anyone know? Okay, good. So I think some people just use spreadsheets, some people use like QuickBooks, some people use MoneyMinder, PTEZ. So financial reports, you're doing this every board meeting and then every general membership meeting. It should have the income and expense activity from the day after your last meeting to, is it the day of or the day before the next meeting?
Personally, when I've done them for 2D PTA, I've been doing it the day before just so I can prepare the report in good time.
Yeah. So, yeah. And the reason I ask is sometimes I do have time the day of, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just do it the day of. But
yeah, which is
um,
also
but
fine. Yeah,
yeah, but the point is very, very, very as close as possible to
yes.
the date and then be consistent with it. So if you're doing it the day of, do it the day of every time. If you're doing it the day before, do it the day before every time. But the day after your last meeting, and then let's say the day before your next meeting. And when we look at this little sample here, that would be represented in the selected period. So that we don't have dates on here, but the selected period would be what happened between the last meeting and now. And then you're going to include the activity year to date, everything that's happened. And you'll also include either the budget at, like it says here, or a budget versus actual. That's up to you. So people have an idea how you're doing. Are you staying on track? And is your budget doing well? So when you present this, so you've made your report, you're going to explain, you're going to like sort of pick out the highlights. Maybe there's a huge item that was spent. Maybe there's something that needed a correction you want to point out. Um, and then once you've done that, you and everyone is understanding everything, I guess, then you're going to ask for approval of the financials. You don't vote on the financials, however. You just, and it's funny, I didn't notice, if not ask for someone to move to approve. We don't need to do that though, do we, Claire? We just file it for audit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ignore that part. We missed that because you don't vote to approve the financials. You just state that they're being filed for audit. What you do vote on is if you look on the bottom of this one, is my thing in the way? Little bar in the way?
Oh, we can see them.
You don't see my little
Yeah.
audio video participant bar?
No.
Oh, it's exciting. But anyway, on the very bottom of this report, you see checks written. So you do need to present all the checks written, how much they're for, and get a motion to approve these checks. So somebody motions, somebody seconds, you open it for questions and discussion, and then you have a vote to approve these checks. And hopefully they'll get approved. So, is that new for anybody? Is that new information? Okay. Should we go on? I can't go on. Okay. Do you want to explain the membership dues, Claire?
Yeah. So as you know, everyone's who signs up to be a member of your PTA is asked to pay their dues. I know a lot of schools will not make that into a barrier to someone joining. Sometimes people sponsor the dues and pay it for people. But anyway, the basis is that um, the membership that amount that you need to charge, if you're charging it, is $5.75. And that breaks down as five, yes, and that's what you need to pass on to Second District PTA. Second District PTA keeps 50 cents of that, and the remainder we pass on to California PTA. So that's the absolute minimum. As a unit, you can charge as much as you want and kind of treat it almost like a fundraiser. So if you want to charge $10 for membership, you can, as in the example here, and $4.25 you would keep in your bank account. That's your funds. Um, there's two ways to submit membership or for people to join up. You can either do what we call a manual or offline membership, which is where someone gives you a check or cash. And then the alternative is a system called Totem, which manages it. So people would sign up online. Totem automatically sends us our portion of the dues, and it automatically sends CAP to their portion. there is a $1 fee to people signing up for using Totem. So their minimum, if they're signing up using Totem, would be $6.75. But it's nice and easy in terms of accounting. It's you don't really have to do anything apart from logging your Totem receipts in your finances. Does that all make sense? Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
There has also, just to point out that there has been an increase this year. It used to be $4.75 that was the absolute minimum to cover second district and captor dues, but it's been increased by $1 that goes all to captor.
Mhm. Okay. And I just want to highlight this under number 2 of the example where it says 575 pass through to second district. That should actually be a line item on your, can I go back? Yeah, on your system. So if you look on this sample financial statement, right here towards the bottom, it says expenses not belonging to the association, membership disbursements pass through. This is where you're going to put the portion that goes to CAPTA and Second District PTA. That's where that goes. So part of it you're putting up in your here, up here in your receipts or your income, membership dues. This $1,000 is all going to be the money that your unit's keeping. And then the bottom part here that you're going to send on to CAPTA and Second District, this $1,000 is that part, if that makes sense. So you are separating it out. Unless it's Totem, it already does it for you. So you don't have to separate with Totem.
But Gina, would you agree that it's good to just keep it on the financial statements for review for the board so that as the boards are reviewing all the money and stuff, they just know that this money is coming, where the money is coming in and out of, whether it's done automatically or manually. It's just good to have it on your board's financial statements to keep track of it.
Well, with Totem, we normally just enter in the Totem because they do separate that out. What do you do, Claire? With Totem, do you separate it out manually?
With Totem, I just enter the amount that's been deposited in our account. It's linked to our bank account.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the case for units as well. So it just deposits directly in. And so you would have a income account like on the screen there that says membership dues Totem, and you
Mhm.
would just enter that as a deposit. Um,
Yeah, and the reason we do it that way is because that money never comes to us. The portion that Totem splits out, it never touches the unit accounts.
right.
So there's no reason to,
There's no reason for it to be on our financial statements because it's
yeah.
not passing through our finances. Yeah.
And that's the reason we have 2 line items there. That's a very good question. Okay, so if there are no questions on that anymore, we'll move on to membership dues. I'm sorry, I was trying to look at the time. Membership dues, again, the first date of submission is October 15th. And after that, every month, if you get paper, or cash in hand, check in hand membership dues, you'll fill out this form. This links to it very, very conveniently. So when you get this slide deck, you can have that link. And you just fill it in and you send it into 555 Franklin Street with your check. And then you're done. Yay. Am I missing is there anything confusing about this? Let me know. I've just seen it 1,000 times. So for me, it's just, fill it out,
Yeah.
send it in.
And you probably won't need to, there are several other items on the form. There's the membership dues and it shows you how much you're paying for each one. The next section down, a lot of those things you won't need ever. The only one that might come into play is the late charge for insurance. So do recommend definitely not to pay your insurance late. There's a $25 fee if you do. But the rest of that form is unlikely that you're going to need any of those lines.
Mhm. Okay. And yeah, just to point out on the miscellaneous Founders Day free will offering, every year we have a Founders Day meeting celebration party. And so if you wanted to donate to the Second District PTA to help offset the cost of that party, here's where you can do that
Yeah.
directly. Okay, moving on. 532, deposits and payments, best practices. Cash deposit should be counted by 2 people and a cash form signed by both and deposited within 2 days. These are best practices. You know, the longer you hold on to a bunch of money, the more likely it's going to disappear or get lost or get forgotten about. There's this cash verification form that 2 people should count the money together and sign this form. And then
Just
you can put your deposit slip together with it and keep it in the file. What is that, Claire?
sorry, I was just going to mention that there are rules about who the 2 people can be. I think they can't be from the same household.
Mm.
So yeah, generally 2 people from the board would be a good idea.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And Claire, one more to add to that. It's true that for the sake of PTA, if you have a staff member, like a SFUSD staff member, what's the rule for that?
I
That's a good,
think they just can't be check signers.
yeah. Yeah.
So not in the same household and not a staff member of the district.
I think you could have a staff member, they just can't be
Signing.
signing checks. Yeah.
Got it.
There is clarification of that probably on the capture toolbox, which I'm sure we've linked here.
Mm-hmm. And there's,
Sorry, not toolbox.
let's see, payment authorization form must be submitted and signed by requester, president, and secretary. This is often used for reimbursements. I'll just click on it. We can see, yep. So if somebody is seeking reimbursement, they'd fill out this form, and on the bottom, the person requesting the reimbursement signs it. And then on the bottom, the president and secretary also sign it. And once that's done, then that person can be reimbursed. All checks require 2 signatures. And also another authorization form if you're paying via EFT. It's the same thing. We need 2 signatures on that. Oops. Did we link? I think we linked the same one. We'll link the right form on this one later. Okay, so there's a lot of online payments, right? It's very easy to do, bill pay online payments. And so we still want 2 signatures and just to keep track of that. Oh. Okay, so something else. And next, what do we have? Reconciliations. So your bank statements are either going to be mailed to the school, so not to the treasurer's house. It should be mailed to the school. If you have electronic statements coming to you, there should be one other person who's not a check signer who can view the statements. Again, the reconciliation should be done monthly and then signed by the treasurer. And that's all the accounts if you have checking, savings, PayPal. And the bank statement and reconciliation should be viewed and signed by a second person who's not a check signer. So that can be somebody on the board, or it could be a PTA, PTSA member. But somebody who doesn't sign the checks should be looking over the statements and the reconciliations every month and giving it their signature before it's filed. Madeline, do you have a question?
I do have a question. So when everything electronically, what is your best suggestion for the signatures?
You can send the document, you can email it to each other and sign it electronically.
Okay,
That's, yeah,
okay.
yeah. All right. Okay, Claire, you want to talk about my PTEZ?
Yeah.
Clarify something. You're doing your reconciliation for your bank statement to your system on a monthly basis. I'm assuming on a calendar month, but then you're reporting on all the checks between meeting to meeting, or are you saying reconciling the activity meeting to meeting?
You kind of went out, but I think I know what your question is. So yes, you reconcile every month. And if your meeting is, let's say your meeting is on the 10th of every month, you're going to report the activity from the 11th of last month to the 9th of this month.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, and from the beginning of the year to the day before your meeting. Year to date. Does that make sense? Okay. Moving on, my PTEZ.
Okay, so my PTEZ is a software that has been developed specifically to help PTAs with their finances. It is free for all units. We do need each unit to use it in order to enter information about, I've actually moved on to the third point there, but in order to update your officer and board members, to upload your annual financials, your annual budget, your mid-year and year-end financial reviews, your tax forms, and the annual registration renewal report that goes to the Attorney General. I jumped forward to there. If you do want to use it as an accounting software, there is a fee associated with that. You can see there, depending on your income, there's different levels of the annual fee. Yeah, so that's based on your revenue. And then, as I said, I jumped ahead, but for the free version, everyone can use the free version, which will allow you to update the forms that we need you to update.
And then if you don't have access,
If you don't have access, reach out to treasurer at sfpta.org and we will get you set up. We also recommend using like a generic email address to set up. So treasurer at marinamiddleschool.org or whatever, so that can be handed over to the next person when one person steps down from the role. Then you can reset the password for security and everything. But yeah, using a generic email address is definitely a really good idea. When I say generic, I mean an email address that's going to continue person to person.
right, and you have a historical record of
Exactly.
years gone by.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on. Ugh. Okay. Oh. And this just tells you how to upload documents. It is pretty easy to figure out. Okay. So PayPal is allowed as a payment vehicle for PTAs. It should be set up as a different bank account and entered just as if it's a different account altogether. And then I will add that not all payment vehicles are allowed. Like Venmo, I think is not widely known, but it's not allowed by PTA. And that's because it has to be tied to a personal bank account. So anything that can be tied directly with your business checking account, your PTA checking account, you can use. So PayPal and Zelle. You can use the Zelle function. But looking at PayPal, you're just setting it up as a regular account, and that's about it. I don't know. That's just regular, but then you'll transfer money. However you want to handle it. Some people monthly transfer money over to their checking. Some people just keep it in PayPal and use it from there. So, all right. Now it's 5:42, and we're done with section 1. Does anybody have any questions for section 1?
Yeah, sorry, this is Justin. I heard you say PayPal you can accept, Venmo you cannot accept, so no peer-to-peer transactions are accepted. But then I
Well,
heard you say Zelle, so
Zelle is allowed.
what about Apple Cash?
If Apple Cash is set up directly with the PTA bank account,
Okay.
then that would be allowed. Something like Venmo, you can't attach it to the PTA bank account. It has to be, and that's why they don't allow it.
It's like reconcilable back to the account. Is that effectively the requirement?
No, because it's connected to somebody else's personal account.
Got it.
Yeah.
I just put a link in from the Capture Toolkit.
Oh, great.
It's from 2022, so it's a little bit older, but it should explain that.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I had seen that and I saw exactly what you said, that it was from 2022, and I thought,
Yeah.
okay, God, please tell me that they've figured this out by now.
Justin,
mean,
we
they-
get this question every year. This is
Oh,
not,
yeah.
so we
Yeah.
literally get this conversation every year, and every year we go back to our captain mentors, we go back to the finance folks, and they say the same thing, that it hasn't updated. And the reason is, again, personal versus PTA bank accounts. And also there's authorization codes on Zelle and PayPal that are not on Venmo. So it's a little extra tricky to like look into it, but there's some fine print that you'll see on PayPal and Zelle about this. And Apple Pay is still, it's not all accounts or banks will accept that for if it's not tied to just a person, because the difference is a PTA account is managed and authorized with 2 or 3 folks, right? Whereas Venmo and even Venmo Business is not. So it's all in the super fine print, and it is definitely something that we're trying to ask to get worked on. But at the end of the day, it really comes back to the banks and what their preferences are, and how the California PTA, National PTA, have better, more expert folks who've asked this for us every year. So we totally understand where you're coming from, because we ourselves have had to deal with it with our own personal units. So totally understand, and we're hoping maybe one day they'll update it to make it a lot easier to accept like every single kind of online payment. But till then, we're kind of stuck. So we totally understand.
Yeah, there are many. You can use ChatterUp, you can use Zephy, you can use PayPal, Zelle, yeah, but not Venmo. So, it's 5:46. Do we have time for like a 1-minute break? Does anyone want to take a break? Just worrying about the time. Just kind of give me a hands up if you want to take a 1-minute break. No, all right. Let's plow forward then. Part 2. Just the rest of the year. That's all. Okay. This is the fun thing. This is, I think, I don't know. When I saw financial review audit before, I just was so, felt like it was so daunting. And it's not really, but it is twice a year. You're going to do this financial review. mid-year, which means January, and end of the year, which means July. So this process checks for accuracy of your books, it finds all the errors, and you'll get a nice list of recommendations for how to improve your bookkeeping methods. Nobody gets in trouble over this. If there are mistakes, which there are bound to be, it's fine. It's just a way to try to figure out how you're going to minimize these mistakes going forward. And then it's just another layer of clarity, really, right? Transparency. So you'll need your checkbook register, bank statements, all the supporting documents and authorizations, like all the things we've kind of just talked about. You're just going to need all of these guys. So it'll be important for you if you don't have a system already set up that somebody's handing to you, take a little time to figure out how you're going to organize your papers and then just like keep up with that. Or else it will be very daunting and difficult to do. There's a checklist that you'll complete, or I'm not saying you, the treasurer, but the team, the auditing, what do you call it? The financial review team, will complete the checklist and present to the executive board and membership for approval. And you'll send it to the second district PTA. And I think we go a little bit more into it, don't we? No.
We'll probably go into it later in the year, maybe have a session on that.
Okay. I think at the end where we have some links, I think there are some a link for
Yeah.
the checklist and a link for a sample form,
Hmm.
financial report form. So you could check that out. But yeah, we'll have a training closer to the next one. And also you can just always email us if you have questions. Sorry, I know somebody was here specifically for that and I didn't realize we didn't go deeper. Okay, Claire, I'm gonna
Okay.
let you have this one.
Yeah. Gina's reformatted this slide and I love it. So these are the annual things that you need to provide to the IRS and to the California authorities. So all PTAs are 501c3 organizations. We are tax exempt. We have our tax date is November the 15th because our financial year finishes June 30th. So things that you need to file are based on your income. So if your gross income is 50,000 or less, the forms that you'll need to submit are the RRF1, which actually everyone does, the 990N, which is the version of the tax form, and the CTTR1. Those all go to the Attorney General. And then you need to file the 119N to the California Franchise Tax Board. Then there's a second tier, which is if your gross income is greater than 50,000 and less than 200,000. You're doing the RRF1 and the 990EZ, and that goes to the Attorney General. And the 199 goes to the California Franchise Tax Board. And if your annual income is greater than 200,000, you're also doing the RRF1, you're doing the 990 to the Attorney General, and then you're doing the 199N to the California Franchise Tax Board. Some of them I think are submittable online, but most of them are paper versions that need to be mailed in. And some, I think one of them might have a fee associated with it as well, but we've got the links there and that will tell you exactly where to find the forms and any fees that are associated.
Mhm. And I think at the end where we have a bunch of links for you, we do have links to these forms. And the forms themselves have the information on it, like how much your fee should be based on how much your income is.
And it's entirely up to you whether you want to complete the tax forms yourself if you have that experience and that knowledge, or you could even hire someone to do that for you.
Okay, oops. Move. It just never, okay, here we go. Well, there's also workers' compensation reporting. And you're doing this whether or not you have hired an employee. And it's due January 15th. You can file it electronically. And the insurance company, AIM, will send you an email with more information on how to do that as the due date approaches.
It's pretty straightforward. They send you a link, you select your unit name, put in the information, and most people haven't paid anyone, so it's just a case of confirming that you haven't paid anyone. I just see a question in there from Tamisha about going back to the taxes, about whether we're referring to a CPA. So yeah, basically yes, a CPA could complete that for you.
Okay, then we're jumping from, I guess, due January 15th. I feel like planning the next year's budget is very far in the future. But around March, you're going to start planning the next year's budget. So if you've never done this before, the way to do it is to look at this year's budget and look at your budget versus actual. How did you do? You know, did you spend a whole lot more on buying books or something than you anticipated, or a whole lot less doing teacher appreciation? And then maybe adjust that to what makes more real life sense. You definitely want to go to your membership, your teachers, your students, and get feedback from them about what they would like to see supported by PTA. Of course, you'll listen to your membership because they're the ones who are going to vote on this at the end of the day. So we want to make sure that we're hearing what they're looking for in the budget. And yeah, so what you'll do is you'll get a budget committee together of, maybe 3 or 4 people. The treasurer should be involved in that and do all of its due diligence, come up with a draft budget, and then present it to the board. The board will vote to recommend it to the membership or not. If they recommend it, then you'll bring it to the membership and then they'll have a look and vote it in. So it's very fun. Okay. And then we're going to look at our, we're talking about the donor platforms before, and this is just a few and their fees. You can take donations through Totem, which is the membership joining platform or membership platform. They do charge 5%, but there you go. And then, they also automatically transfer it to your bank account, which is nice. And I think that's really the end, and we just have helpful links here.
I just realized there is one thing we forgot to put on here.
Really, what is it?
Just the insurance payment.
Did we?
It's
Oh,
in the calendar, but I don't think we have a slide about it.
you're right.
So yes, there's a deadline of December the 20th to pay your insurance. It gets paid directly to a company called AIM, who manage our insurance. And it's a similar thing to the workers' compensation. They'll send an email with the instructions on how to do that. You go to the link, you select your unit, and I think you put in contact details, and then they will send you an invoice. And I think it's a QuickBooks invoice, which you can pay using your banking information. If you want to pay by check, you can do, but please make sure you process it well in advance of the December 20th deadline, because if it isn't in their hands by then, they will charge you the $25 late fee. Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you for remembering that, Claire.
Yes.
I know we talked about
We
insurance.
went through this with a tooth comb and we still managed to forget that. Sorry.
Okay. And remember, if you're going to pay that electronically, you want to fill out that form and have it signed by 2 people, even though it's going to be in your budget to pay the insurance, even though you'll have voted to pay it to release the funds. Still need your forms. So then just a bunch of the forms that we were talking about. Oh, I like this one. The charity status. So right now we're talking to several units who are a little bit behind on some of these forms with the state and I think it's mostly the state that they're behind in, but maybe the federal ones too. So if you get a little bit behind, you will change your status, your charity status to maybe delinquent, maybe, you know, they won't cancel you right up front, but you become what's the one before, like, that's not too bad, that's not delinquent,
Ah,
just like in process or something,
something
but
like
you're
that.
not
Yeah.
you don't have the green the
Yeah, I
green
can't remember what the
highlight.
wording is for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is
you
it
want to make
default in
sure
progress, I think?
Yeah.
something like that, but basically you want to be in good standing at all times. So click on this when you get this slide deck. Go ahead and click the registry's search tool, put in your numbers, and see where you are. I think it's a great place to start the new year to make sure that you are in good standing right off the bat. They are all really easy to work with. If you need to email the state or even the federal people, I've always had a really easy time getting things sorted out with them, and they're responsive. You can also ask us, and we can help you out. Yeah, and if you want, you can ask California PTA, and they can help you too. There's the link for the workers' compensation. Um, here are more links for the financial reviews. I think this is why I thought we got more into it, Claire, because I did add these links. So if you are looking for a little bit more detail than just the overview, we've got the toolkit that talks about the review, and then the checklist, a sample or blank report, and that'll help you out. Okay. That's the end, and it's 6 o'clock, but we're happy to take any questions that you may still have.
I want to thank you for your expertise and your time.
Oh, thanks, Berta.
Same here. Thank you very much. Very informative.
Okay, thank you, Matthias. So you guys, please email us if you have questions you think of later, or if during the year you get stuck on something. If we don't know the answer right away for you, we are going to find the answer or help you get it. Don't worry about that. That's what we're here for. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.